President-elect Donald Trump is weighing in on the news that Hillary Clinton's campaign has now joined Green Party candidate Jill Stein's recount efforts in Wisconsin. He tweeted, quote, "Hillary Clinton conceded the election when she called me just prior to the victory speech and after the results were in. Nothing will change." So what will this recount effort accomplish? Millions of dollars have been raised for it. Brian Robinson is the former communications director for Georgia Governor Nathan Deal and president of Robinson Republic. Atima Amara, Democratic strategist and former president of Young Democrats of America. Welcome to you both. Atima, let me start with you. What's the goal here? I mean, what do you think they're trying to accomplish, especially when you consider that in the three major states, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, both Mr. Trump and Hillary are about 110,000 votes apart, but that's out of 14 million votes cast.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody's recognizing that this election in many ways was an unprecedented sort of election. You had campaign emails being hacked. You had DNC emails being hacked, confirmed by certain foreign entities. Washington Post recently put out a report that Russia was propagating fake news. So there's just lots of concerns. Also, I forgot, FBI Director Comey, even as late as September, was saying voter registration systems were being hacked and state election boards should be looking at the process. So, and making sure that their systems were secure. So really, this is in the interest of transparency. We live in a great country where if a candidate has a recourse to ask about a recount to make sure everything's handled fairly, then, you know, they get the right to do that. And so I think it's really what this is all about.
Yeah, Brian, is there anything wrong with that?
Look, all this is an effort to raise money for the Green Party and perhaps even for the Democrats because their base is so mad that they lost. This is a way to get them revved up. It's a way to make them aggrieved. It's a way to make them think that the system is rigged. The Democratic administration said that there was no chance that our election was going to get hacked. They said that Donald Trump was irresponsible for saying that the election was going to be rigged, that it undermined faith in our democracy. And now that they have lost, it is the left saying that our election has been rigged and that the system is unfair. If the Russians attacked the election system in Wisconsin, it shouldn't be the Wisconsin Secretary of State looking into it. It should be the national security apparatus of the United States, because this is a national defense issue.
Well, since it is a national defense issue, and it has been said that that exactly is what happened, I mean, Brian, why hasn't this been taken to a higher level besides just recounting votes?
Because it didn't happen. That's why. If the Russians were...
Go ahead.
Well, I think that's absolutely presumptuous to say when you have FBI Director Comey saying foreign actors have actually hacked into voter registration systems and state election boards should be cautious.
No, the Obama administration
Comey, who, by the way, is a Republican appointee.
The Obama administration is saying. The Obama administration is saying that these election systems were not hacked. Recounts matter when there are a few hundred votes separating the candidates. In this case, it is tens of thousands of votes, and it is particularly ironic that Jill Stein is the one doing this because her vote totals in the states in question were bigger than the margin of Trump's victory. I think she's trying to save face with the left after she potentially cost Hillary Clinton the election.
Well, there is, Brian and Atima, the situation that the feds have confirmed that the systems in Illinois and in Arizona were hacked, that about 200,000 names in Illinois were taken. This is Jill Stein's petition, by the way, this whole thing. There it is. See? A lot of pages. Let me read you just one thing about what happened in Wisconsin and get your reaction. In this recount petition, they say, quote, "In Wisconsin, there is evidence of voting irregularities in the 2016 presidential election that indicate potential tampering with electronic voting systems. The well-documented and conclusive evidence of foreign interference in the presidential race before the election, along with irregularities observed in Wisconsin, call into question the results and indicate the possibility that a widespread breach occurred." But Atima, what if they conduct this investigation, find that most of the votes or all the votes are fair and square and that there really wasn't a breach that resulted in any difference in Wisconsin?
Then the election results are upheld. I mean, Mark Elias, who is the counsel for Hillary Clinton and is one of the top lawyers in his field on election law, said, you know, we've looked at it internally and we don't think that the results will change, but we want to make sure that she's represented. Jill Stein is certainly no friend of the Clinton campaign or Clinton supporters, I would say. I know that there are some who donated. I didn't, to her efforts. But I think it is important you know, I come from a family of immigrants. I have lots of friends whose parents, you know, are immigrants or they are immigrants themselves. We come from countries where, you know, when we ask for recourse in elections and we doubt somebody won in 90%, we're not granted that right. We live in a great democracy that if there are voting irregularities, that if people want to continue to believe in democracy and transparency, then somebody has the right to request that. And honestly, there's nothing stopping Donald Trump from saying, hey, you know, let's recount, let's look at the process. Instead, right now, he's ranting on Twitter for the last 30 minutes about, well, I would have won the popular vote except for people who voted illegally. So now he's even questioning the results of the ones that he said gave him the victory.
We don't have a lot of reports yet about confirmed about any illegal voting, but Brian will leave you with the last word.
Yeah, I tell you, I don't want to see him go down that route of questioning the legitimacy of the election, because I think it undermines his righteous position that he had that the Democrats and the Green Party are wrong to be questioning the outcome of the election. They're wrong to be sowing doubt in the minds of Americans about the legitimacy of our election system, because that goes to the heart of our democracy. So I think we are all better served if the president-elect and the Democrats say the election was fair, this is final. Let's move on and start focusing on who Donald Trump is going to put on the Supreme Court and in his cabinet. That's what matters now.
Well, before they do that, they're going to be counting the votes by hand. Every single one of them. They got to go through the paper ballots, and sometimes these DRE machines don't have complete paper trails, so it'll take some time. But by the end of the year, they'll have the final numbers. Brian and Tima, thank you for joining us and hashing
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate it.
important issue out for our democracy. Thank you.